Hey guys, I got several requests to show the disassembly and wear and how I cleaned the the alienator, the alien machine. Anywho, so today I'm going to do a little video on how I go about cleaning mine every time it gets nastied up over at the range. So let's begin. Mag out. Checking the chamber. There's a dummy round in there. Might as well get it out. And there you have the dummy round supplied by Laugo Arms. That goes there. I leave it in there because it does not have an extraction rim on it, which is good. So, sorry about that. The camera just shook. Anyhow, bring it back out, fire, and then you gotta pop out this little pin right here. You can see it, there it goes. It's out. Once it's out, you can see a little bit of, I don't know, cuts here in the back. Just push forward and it automatically comes up and out. And then you lift it. Your hammer, your sear. Let's see, the areas that get dirty, generally right about here because the gas port is right there at the bottom end. These are your locking areas that lock into the slide, or into the frame I should say, right there, and right there. So once I have that off, what I generally do is you gotta back and lift outward, and there you go. The slide is out. Mine's a little bit greased up. I put a thin layer of grease on it rather than oiling it. Gunk, where does it get caught up? Here, inside here, all this area, and down over here. You guys are gonna have to excuse me, I'm using my iPhone. Got better things to do with that kind of money rather than buying a camera. Anyhow, that's where it gets dirty. I generally just clean the whole thing up. I will tell you how I clean it all up afterwards. Lift out the recoil / piston system. This is what it is. This is your piston. The recoil spring. It does come apart. It takes a lot of force, compression force, to take it apart. This cleans up very easily. This is a little bit of a pain. Why? Because actually you can still see on there a little bit of the gunk, even though I've cleaned it. Piston systems generally do get very, very nasty, and I'm very tedious in cleaning them as much as possible. I don't know. I mean, I've seen them quite dirty and the gun keeps working, so it doesn't really matter. Anyhow, that's there. Now, inside the frame, barrel does not come out. So, where does it get dirty? The top portion, right in here in the crease, on either side. There's your gas piston port. I don't know if I got it right or not, whether or not you can see it right there. And, you know what, let me get this, it'll make it easier. And there is your little disconnector. I don't know if you guys are getting it. Okay, right there. You see it move? When the gun fires and the slide is coming forward or something, actually this piece is your disconnector right there. As soon as the slide crosses it, it pops right back up and you're ready to fire again. So I have not opened up this area yet. I will be. I have not. To open the barrel and to get to that unit, I would have to remove this screw, 2 of these on here, and then got to remove this pin. And this thing is supposed to slide back and down, supposedly. I don't know. I've never done it yet. Maybe I will, maybe I won't, but it's not time for that yet. The trigger is pretty clean anyway. So, apparently, the good thing is I've got the rod. This is the rod I use to clean everything. I got out of a CZ pistol. I've kept it. It works wonders. I clean the barrel with it. I use hops number 9. I wipe this area down a little bit. That's good enough for me. In here, what I do is I use a toothbrush. I get into it as much as I can with hops number 9. Leave it sitting for about 10-15 minutes. Come back and I just hose it all down with the WD-40. That's all it takes, guys. I'm not into these super ball bearing type spray, lubrication and all that kind of crapola. None of that stuff it's all gimmicks, okay? WD-40, tried and true. If you really want to go a little bit overboard, you can use a little bit of light grease. I'm using Teflon grease for your information if anybody wants to know. And I've had that tube for over 20 years, so I don't really care. And the gun works flawlessly. Now, the main thing, cleaning the let's see if I can see it. Where is it? Yeah, there we go. I think, yeah. Cleaning the port where the gas blowback takes place. They have supplied with an L-shaped key that you can stick in there. It actually looks like my finger, like the way it is. It just goes in and you're supposed to scrape it or whatever. I'm not bothering with that. I use this. I put one of those Hops little square pads and I swirl it around, bend the tip forward, and I stick it inside the port and just keep going like this, round and round, all the way till I'm squeezed in there with Hops 9. I bring it back out. I let it set for a while, and then I hose it down and I stick one in there to dry everything up. That's that. Aside from that, let's move on. So, assembly. I'm wearing these stupid gloves. Let's see if I can do it right. There we go. Put the port in. Must sit on top of the barrel. It's got the cut there. This is in there. This is seated right. Then you take the, then you take the slide and get into proper positioning for this. I just generally force it down and back. Oop, the spring is not seated right. See? I'm trying to do it at an angle makes it a lot more difficult. So, oop, there we go. And it's in. You got to push down and back. It snaps right back into place. You can see how it's seated equally. And to put the top portion back on, must not be cocked. Drop it in. Dropping it in. And this is the tough part for me. I don't know how people do it like it's nothing. There we go. It's seated in right. Now comes the tough part for me, which is getting that click so that it locks into place by these two hooks. I generally use 2 thumbs to push. There we go. You heard the click. It's in place. It's actually loosened up a little bit. So now I know why they keep it tight. And that's it. The gun is good to go. I wish I had more of these rimless rounds because these hammerless weapons, every time you cock him just so you can get the thing going, you know, it loses the round. Did it take it? Yes, it did. There we go. Gun is good to go. This is a really nice gun, guys. I know I get a lot of comments asking, people asking, hey, is it worth it? Is it worth it? Is it worth it? Is it worth the $5 grand? Well, guess what? That Eric so-and-so edition from Tanksfolio, that's over $8 grand. You get into some of these top-of-the-line DVC customs and so forth with all these speed, flash, Joe Blow, lightning cuts and whatnot. You know, hey, dude, that's all gizmos for looks. You still end up paying $5-6 grand for one of those things. And this thing comes with two sets of sights. One is the open sights, one is the red dot sights. So this is worth the money. Now, we're going to do a little comparison, which I have not done for you guys. So, I have here a Tanksfolio copy. Let's check to make sure it is empty. It is empty. And just to give you an idea, I've got my hand all the way up. Look at where my finger is. Look at where the barrel is. You see that? Do you see that? I'm not even aiming down. I'm actually pushing my finger up. Now, look at this. Hand all the way in. Right there. And I'm pushing my finger down. It's not going upward. Just take a look, guys. Do you see the difference? I hope you can. I'm twisting my arm quite a bit. Do you see that? Another comparison. Take a look at that. That should give you a very good idea as to how low that bore axis is. I wish I still had my Hudson, because the bore axis in this sits lower than the Hudson. All right. Not to mention, it's got the slide is pretty light for the recoil, because this top portion is cut in. I mean, the slide is not, it's not a whole unit like this one. Secondly, look at how high my hand rides up compared to here. Look at where this one is, and look at where this one is, guys. My palm, look at how low I'm sitting here. Look at how low I'm sitting here. I'm actually, if you were to take a draw line, I am sitting above the barrel. There's the barrel. I hope you guys can see the... Now, having said all this, the main thing again with this gun is a fixed barrel. Fixed barrel guns are generally slightly more accurate because the barrel is fixed. And with the delayed gas blowback, you know, the bullet actually leaves before the slide starts to reciprocate. Plus, with the low bore axis, the recoil is next to zero. So this is basically, you can kind of say somebody took a ISSF or an Olympic pistol, rapid fire pistol design, because their barrels are quite low. Grip angle is very high. And, you know, this looks pretty much like that. So that should give you an idea as to why it shoots great. Having said all that, let's get to my favorite handgun of all time. Still is, hands down. I'm sorry, alienators, but nothing will ever beat this, in my opinion, simply because I'm in love with it. I've had this thing for over 30 years. I modded it about, let's see, I got it in 1986, and I modded it I think it was about 1990 when I modded it. But here it is. It's my Colt Combat Elite, custom hand checkered. That is Smith & Alexander, Ed Brown. This is the only thing I've changed in it recently. The side shields are by EGW, wide pedal safeties, Bomar sight, front is a Novak sight. I've got the optional 2-piece guide rod, and this is a 1-piece in there right now. Yeah. But, my goodness. You know, I mean, something about a 45 never changes. But anyway, this is strictly my opinion, guys. Combat? Yeah, definitely this. Why not this? I'll tell you why not. It's got that little thingamajiggy for disconnector and the pin safety and whatnot. When that thing gets clogged, this gun ain't going nowhere. Gas guns are never really popular, handguns. HK had the P7. Steyr had the GB model. There are some others. I think the GB gained some military experience. The P7, yeah, it's been carried by police here and in the States. But at the end of the day, a little bit of grit or grime, those guns are gone. They're finished. Or even for that fact, if you're in a field situation, you know, you will run out of ammo and you find some ammo on the ground or something, and if it's lead, this gun is finished. It'll fire a few rounds, but then it's going to get clogged up because of the lead. This, I don't care what anybody says, it'll fire. It's over 100 years old. People are still modding it, and you know, they're still making it. Everybody's making it. Anyways, whatever. Love this gun. So, again, great range gun. I'm going to call it a range gun. I know that the original intention of the inventor of this weapon was to, you know, put it in the military. I highly doubt it's going to do that. It's really heavy. Glock beats it by 1,000,000 miles when it comes to weight. And that's all. Let me know in your comments what you thought. Later, guys.